Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone today? Here we are. Spring has sprung. I'm so happy about that. And here we are gathered together as usual in our fabulous Zoom Sunday celebration service. I want to welcome you to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Reverend Nori Rost. I'm the minister here, and I'm delighted that you're here with us as well. And actually, full disclosure, I guess I need to say I'm not really here. I'm traveling in a place where there's no good connection. So I've pre-recorded this, but you're here live. So glad about that. If this is your first time and you feel like it, you can give a shout out in the chat and one of our welcome team members will greet you. But regardless of whether you do that or not, I'm just so delighted that you're all here today. Just a couple of announcements as always. There will be Tuesdays with Nori still, 5:30 p.m. The link for that is on our website or in our e-letter. Just a casual time for us to get together and share how we're doing in the midst of this. Has the newest phrase of the big phrase of the year, unprecedented times. So I invite you to join me with that. It's just a really casual time to get together. The stewardship drive is officially over, but it's not too late to pledge. In fact, if you haven't yet pledged and you're a member or pledging friends, you might have already gotten a phone call or email from members of our stewardship team. I want to thank you in advance for responding to that and giving your pledge for the coming year. Pledging is critical for determining our budget. And so thank you for your generosity in this past year, and thank you in advance for your generosity to come. The community care team has received word that the place, which used to be called Urban Peak, it's a center for youth and young adults experiencing homelessness, that they are needing donations. A list of the current needs can be found on their website, which is theplacecos.org. So please check that out, and if you can, donate some items to them. We really appreciate it. Big news, Easter is on in person this year. On Easter Sunday, Religious Exploration will be holding a fun day. Fun stands for family, UU in person. Join us at Monument Park from 10 a.m. to noon for some RE fun. We have the large pavilion rented, and we'll have games, crafts, an Easter egg hunt, and prizes. So stay tuned for more details on that. Masks are required, and there's a link to RSVP on our website and in our e-letter as well. This will be followed by picnic pods and peeps, following our fabulous Zoom Easter cantata, which you can enjoy from the comfort of your home. Please join us at Monument Valley Park from noon on. Bring your own food and drinks to share with those in your own particular pandemic pod. And again, masks required, and we'll be having socially distanced picnic and the Easter Peeps Diorama contest, which is in full swing. You can RSVP to the link that AB is putting in the chat for that, for both the picnic and the Peeps Diorama. I have to be honest with you, I haven't received any registrations yet. I'm beginning to be downhearted, but I have hope. So it's not too late. So sign up on the RSVP so we know how many are coming and if you're participating in the Peeps Diorama. Thank you for that. Also, big news, our second chance auction is now online, live and running, no bidding, just greatly discounted buy now prices for items that didn't get sold during our original auction last fall. So AB will put that link up to the auction site and hop on there soon before the items you want are gone. Following the service today, you will be randomly assigned a coffee breakout room. Please take this time to chat with those in your room. You don't have to be on mute for that. And it's just, again, an informal way to keep in touch with one another during this time. So we invite you to do that. And for now, let's take a few minutes to greet one another, kind of scroll through the thumbnails and wave hi to those you see. It's so good that you are all here. Thank you once again for being here.
All right, I invite folks to go ahead and wave as we scroll through. I've unshared the screen so that everyone can we can see each other and wave. And perhaps you can hear me since I'm not sharing my screen at this point. Hello, Joe and Jane and Kat and Jan, and I'm just flipping through Gary and Sharon and Tim and Kathy and Bill and Tom and Robert and Betsy. Good to see you. Dale, John, Justin, Sherry, Hi, Barb. Hi, Judy and Jim. Hello, Carla. And hi, Mark, even if you can't hear the videos. And Stan and Russ and Diane. Yes, the real Diane Page, not Ed masquerading. Jeff and Amy. August, Jackie, Sienna. And there's just so many of you. I'm glad that you're all here. And I apologize for the tech issues. And here is the rest of Nori's welcome story.
We gather each week not because we must, but because we can. We come not in spite of our differences, but to flaunt our diversity. We gather from every socioeconomic stream, race, ethnicity, gender identity, age, ability, location, and find that we're stronger and more fabulous when we can bring all of who we are into this Zoom room and be seen and loved for all of who we are. So let's take a moment to breathe in the divinity of this hour brought here to you by you as I ring the bell.
Each time we light the chalice, we renew our commitment to our Unitarian Universalist faith with the spark of a match. We make it new again, as fresh and surprising as the first day that we encountered this spiritual community and realized that we were home.
Today's reading comes to us from Rosemary Watola Traumer. This is why we are here. Not merely to survive, but to fall in love with the white-breasted hawk and the rainbow fish, with the lonely sidewalk and the shadows of ourselves. Fall in love with the hands of the woman wearing yellow and the girl who loves chocolate and the boy who loves cars, and the man who makes us want to be better versions of ourselves. We are here to fall into unimaginable love, to love beyond reason, beyond fact, beyond certainty. We are here to lose all our ideas about love and know it as the next choice we make, the next word we say, the next invitation we offer ourselves. We are here to love the world and each other the way whales love water, the way blue loves a peacock, the way night blooming jasmine loves night.
Yesterday at 7:37 a.m. local time, the sun crossed over the equator heading north in our hemisphere. This event, known as the vernal equinox, heralds the beginning of spring. Of course, we are still expecting snow this week. Yet, and we seasoned Coloradans know better than to rush to our local nursery and pick up a truckload of annuals once spring hits. That should wait until after Mother's Day. My first year I was told that, but on a beautiful spring day, the week before Easter, found it impossible to believe, so made an Easter basket filled with those little cardboard pots of flowers, a spade, gardening gloves, other gardening miscellany for my partner, who was raring at the bits to plant the garden in our new home. Of course, the week after Mother's Day, I was buying replacement flowers. But still, there's something about the vernal equinox that makes my heart sing. It's fitting that on this Sunday, we are talking about commitment to community. Although some of you may be thinking, didn't we spend all last month talking about beloved community? Is this really necessary? The answer is yes. You see, last month we talked about beloved community in a broader sense of how we're responsible for one another, how beloved community calls us to work and act for justice on behalf of and with marginalized communities, and how we are to be with one another even if we disagree. But remember, I have proclaimed this month with its theme of commitment as a spa month, a month of pampering ourselves. Last week, I spoke about the need for self-care, whether that was a bubble bath with a glass of wine or journaling or therapy. Today, I want to talk about the importance of surrounding ourselves with a loving community of folks who care for us and have our back. Family and friends who journey with us and with whom we journey, who will cheer our victories without envy and share our sorrows. It doesn't have to be a large group. In fact, normally it's about 3 to 5 in our inner circle. People we will welcome into our home regardless of the degree of clutter. People who we know will give us the proverbial shirt off their back, and so we're not embarrassed to ask for help. People who would, if we needed it, get out of bed at midnight and come bail us out of jail. Now, I recognize not all of us have friends like that. For some of us, it's hard to let down the barriers. It feels too vulnerable to be so real with people. So you have to take baby steps. I remember when I was a very young minister living in Long Beach, California, I had made 2 close friends there, a couple, Carol and Anita. And I told them I wanted them to be my accountability partners, to let me know if I was getting off track as a young single woman in the big city. And I wanted them to be my inner circle. And they were happy to do that. And I knew that they were happy to do that. I knew that they would have my back, bail me out, whatever. But I was also so unaccustomed to that, to having people having my back. My whole life growing up and as a young adult, I just always assumed I would have to take care of myself and slog through life's challenges alone. So I realized I first needed an assist. So I told my friends, if I ever call you out of the blue and seemingly just want to chat, you'll need to ask me, and how are things with you, Nori? And then I would feel free to share the real reason I was calling, the hard day I was having, the advice I was seeking, whatever it was. After a while, I could lead with that, but at first I needed that verbal invitation because I didn't know how to share the deepest parts of myself with someone. I'd never experienced that before. It's hard in this world to open up enough to do that. Some of us have been lucky. We've been immersed in a community of care with friends we've known since childhood or college, or the Mommy and Me class we attended 25 years ago. Others of us have found those deep friendships in church, a book club, or the military. These communities of care aren't static, however. As we grow, move across the country, have children, decide not to have children, become empty nesters, bring our aging parents into our homes, whatever, the circles shift. I'm still friends with Carol and Anita, and I love them dearly, but our lives are in different places, so we don't communicate as often as we did back then. Others who were so important in my Long Beach years have diverged from my own path. I've created a different community of care in my 27 years in Colorado Springs, and that too has shifted with the ebb and flow of time. We have had to be creative in this pandemic to maintain those communities of care, although in some ways, we might be more connected to our far-flung communities than before. It never really occurred to us before COVID to hold Zoom happy hours with friends and family around the world and in our own backyard. When I do my daily walk around a local park, I love how in the warm weather, people are sitting in their lawn chairs, socially distanced with other couples, clearly friends, getting together in their community of care. And we can certainly find community and feel that sense of connection without having to disclose our deepest feelings. The most important thing about a community of care is that we feel connected to something larger than ourselves, to know that we're a part of something more than what we see in our home. Last week, I mentioned the Living Compass website by Scott Stoner, a family therapist. He gives a few examples on his website about that feeling of interconnectedness in a larger way. People singing on their balconies at night in Italy. How I loved to see those videos early in the pandemic. Just people singing in their streets, some song, and the harmony of it resonating off the narrow streets. Faith communities offering online prayer services or Tuesdays with Nori. Neighbors gathering to greet one another across their streets. People volunteering to grocery shop for their at-risk neighbors. Musicians offering free online concerts. And grandparents, aunts, and uncles reading bedtime stories and playing games with young family members via Zoom. These examples highlight both the need for community and our ability to think outside the box to create it. Excuse me. During this time, it may have been easy for those of us who tend toward isolation on a good day to withdraw even further into ourselves. Whatever our situation, I want to encourage each of us to cultivate our own mutual admiration society with at least one or two others, or with a book group or affinity group, your choice. But first, let me tell you what a community of care is not. It is not a group of people whose main purpose seems to be criticizing and judging others. This may make you feel connected in self-righteousness, but it does nothing to provide love and comfort. In fact, studies show there is no nutritional value in criticizing or judging others or yourself for that matter. A community of care is also not predicated on trying to one-up each other and how amazing and fabulous your lives are. If all you do is show pictures of your last vacation, talk about your spouse's promotion, or how precocious your children are, this is like living on a diet of cotton candy. It tastes delicious, but again, not much nutritional value. And soon the sweetness will be galling. Lots of people on Facebook seem to be on that diet though, don't they? And it can be easy for those of us looking in to feel inadequate compared to their frothy posts. Trust me, there's more to the picture. A community of care is one comprised of real people sharing their real lives. People who make you laugh, who cause you to think, who challenge your assumptions about life, who ask you questions, who don't let you slide by with inauthenticity. I remember one day in Long Beach all those years ago, I was sharing some plans with Carol and giving her some story about why I thought this was the best course of action for me. I knew I wasn't being convincing, even to myself. A lesser friend might have just said, well, good for you, go for it. But Carol said, with all due respect, Nori, I think you're full of crap. She was right. Communities of care, families of choice, whatever we call them, we need them. Scott Stoner says, research on resilience has shown that there are two essential factors that people need when they find themselves living in a liminal time: spirituality and community. If you remember from last week, a liminal time is one of not being where we were and not knowing what the future looks like. It's a place of great concern and anxiety often. Stoner says, what is unique about the current pandemic is that it is a liminal time that literally the entire world is going through together, all at the same time. Of course, some individuals have been much more affected by COVID-19 than others, but everyone is affected in some way. I cannot think of a time in my life where billions of people all around the globe have faced the same challenge at the same time. So in some ways, we are in community with the whole world. And certainly as spring arrives, we see nature working in community, having each other's back. The sun hangs around longer, which signals the bird to sing their mating songs. The earth warms and calls out to the daffodils, ready when you are. When we are held in community, we too can begin to sing, begin to grow, reaching for the sun in these lengthening days of hope and promise. And we remember anew why we are here. We are here to love the world and each other, the way whales love water, the way blue loves a peacock, the way night blooming jasmine loves night. We are here, not alone, but together in community. Now that's what I call a spa day. Soak it in.
Thanks, Rick. Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn, turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn, turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round, round.
One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't as individuals. When we pool our strength and share the work and responsibility, we can welcome many people, even those in deep distress, and perhaps help them find self-confidence and inner healing. Jean Vanier from Community and Growth. Now is the opportunity to join together in community as we share of our financial resources. May these gifts, pooled together, be used to welcome and help many people. Instructions for giving via text, online, or with a check will be in the chat and on the next screen.
Please join with me in our offertory response song. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
And now, as we prepare to extinguish our chalice and head out into our world, these closing words by great activist Dorothy Day. We have all known the long loneliness, and we have learned that the only solution is love, and that love comes with community. Thank you so much for the love you bring to this community. Please join with me in our Extinguishing the Chalice song.
Please join me in our Extinguishing the Chalice song.
Well, thank you very much to those who put together a fantastic service that somehow didn't quite go as we expected. But I do want to say thank you to Mark and Sherry and Pam and Beth and Robert, Justin, AB, Bill, Nori, Sharon, and Joe, and a special thank you to all of you, especially those of you who stuck around. Like I said, we are going to go to some extraordinary lengths this time to try to get this full service recording out in a way that you can listen to afterwards and hear everything. I want to thank you all for coming. It's been wonderful to see you again today, and we'll listen now to the Postlude. And I will say this is a sing-along, so again, stay muted, but feel free to sing along. All right. Thanks to all of you again. For those of you who want to stick around, I'm going to create breakout rooms very quickly here and get us started. Otherwise, I hope to see you again next Sunday. And thank you for being with us today. Have a great Sunday.